Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live at the mid-game of India-England, third T20I. India want to win this and seal the series. And England, well, England's batting effort again has been a bit of a roller coaster. It was down with an early wicket, then up when Buttler and Duckett put together a good partnership, then down again for a bit, and then kind of just floated away like that. They have managed to, after all the knocking and the falling and the slipping and the ducking and the sliding, reached 171 for 9, which, well, could be a respectable score. Don't know that much on this surface, but, well, at one point it looked like their innings may wrap up at 150, so they'll definitely take these runs that they got in the end from Adil Rashid and Mark Wood. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Zaheer Khan and Michael Vaughan. Once again, Zach, England entertaining with their batting.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the three games. It's about maybe adapting a little bit. You know, that is something which is missing, because even today they've got to 170. Now, 171 is a decent total.
Yeah.
But then you have to really bowl well, and things have to go your way when you're bowling.
Correct.
Similarly with the batting, that 25-30 run glaring difference. You know, if they had just took that approach of maybe adapting a little bit to the conditions, maybe sussing things out, and not really going one-dimensional, which is just looking to hit big sixes and boundaries. You know, that's the kind of approach. That 25-30 runs, and I think, you know, they need to figure out that balance. We constantly talking about it, saying things. Today was a classic example of that. Yes, you can lose early wicket in looking to be aggressive. After that, the recovery was so good, but 9th and 10th over, losing 2 more wickets suddenly puts the pressure on. Varun Chakaravarthy, a big mystery for English batters, continues, and then suddenly you are 25-30 short from the kind of platform which you've set. And that has been the repeated story. So your game is, and the tactics and the plan is pretty much set for a really good pitch. If the pitch was good today, there were no demons, you know, you can just hit through the line, then they might have ended up scoring 225 to 30. But you are going to have more days like this than the days where you're going to get really flat pitches. And that's something which they'll have to figure out.
Michael, you got to look at this England batting, and it's very tough to explain when you're 83 for 1, and then not too long later, you're 127 for 8.
Well, it's quite easy to explain because they just play in one gear. I'll go back to 2015 when the England team got knocked out of the 50-over World Cup. Everything got ripped up in white ball cricket in the UK. Owen Morgan kept the captaincy. Andrew Strauss came in as director. And they went with this aggressive approach, and it got them a World Cup win in 2019. You know, since then, I know England can hit sixes. They're very, very good at striking a cricket ball. What they're lacking at the minute is that smartness and that awareness to play longer innings. And play so riskily all the time, you're going to come up, you know, 20, 30 lights. That's a good pitch in Rajkot. It's flat. There's not a great deal there. I'm sure it'll get better for batting. And in a couple of hours' time, we'll probably be copying and pasting from the first 2 games where you're saying that England should have got 30 or 40 more by just using the sense. They'll pull a load of rockets. It'll get deflected to the boundary. There won't be a huge amount of spin for them because they don't have too many spinners. It's a little bit of copy and paste from the first 2 games. And England don't need to learn how to hit sixes anymore. They can hit 6. What they need to learn is how to play a longer innings, someone to bat the innings through, and then you get a few cameos around it. At the minute, you're looking at a group of players that have almost been sent out with a license, right? Just try and hit a 6 every single ball. And if it comes off, we'll get 240. And if it doesn't, don't worry. They're better than that. They're better players. And I just think they need to learn the art of not just hitting 6s, because I know they can do that. It's playing the innings, knocking it into the pockets for 2s. Just seeing through a bowler. Chakravarty's got them on toast. How they're not playing with an off spin is beyond me. How they're still playing with a leg spinner. He is not a leg spinner. He's bowling in-spin googlies. He's bowling off-spin with a tricky action. How they've not picked up that quickly is beyond me. But India were excellent. They're brilliant with the ball. They're very skillful. But I do think they know how to alter this England batting lineup. I think it's quite easy for them to do so.
Yeah, and you're talking about application. You're talking about just optimization, playing sensible. you see all the batters do a march past, and then Adil Rashid and Mark Wood for the last wicket put on 24 runs. And they put it on getting good old singles. And you think, oh, hang on. Do you think the top order batters, Zach, are looking at them and saying, okay, maybe we can try some of this as well in the next game?
Well, the plan is evident, isn't it? Like from looking from outside also, you can make out that the kind of discussions they must be having among the batting group is to be aggressive, attacking. Six is your first option, then comes the boundary, then comes maybe twos and ones, So that's how they've been approaching. And if you look at Butler's innings or someone who's been consistent, you will see that maybe 30%, 35% of the runs are scored in singles and doubles. So if you keep that as a percentage target for all the batters, and especially when you already hit one or two big shots, and then can you just get to the other end and then let the other guy take chances? Those are the small little things which they'll have to have the conversations about, which will aid to as a group what they can achieve bigger and better. Because you're talking about 25-30 runs, two set batters batting for the last 4-5 overs will give you that much of a difference, and that's the missing trick. When you're looking at any T20 innings, and you look at number of sixes being hit, and you look at number of boundaries being hit by any team, even on a days when teams are scoring 220, 240, you're looking at maybe 30 or 40 deliveries being utilized. You'll have, say, 16, 17 sixes or maybe 20 sixes. I don't know exactly what the record is, but roughly around that, and maybe 15 boundaries. So you're looking at 40 deliveries. But 80 deliveries are still going to be dot balls, singles, doubles. And that is something which can contribute immensely. So it has to be that balance, and it has to be that formula which will really work as a group, as a batting group. And that is something which England seems to be missing at this stage.
Yeah, well, that's what went wrong for England, but it didn't start wrong. It was pretty correct for the first 9 overs. Yes, Phil Salt went early. Jos Buttler was out to bat early again. But Michael, a great partnership with Ben Duckett and Jos Buttler. They went right up till the end of the 9th over. They were scoring at, somewhere between 9 and 10 and over. So at that point, they seemed pretty nicely poised for 200. They didn't get there. But let's talk about not Buttler, because we keep talking about him, but Duckett today, because a good 50 from him at a very good clip.
Yeah, he's a wonderfully skilled player. I mean, against the seamers, against the spinners, he's just got that gift of being able to look at a field, see where the gaps are, and he can find a shot to get the ball into the gap. Some of his cut shots, there was a cut shot they played from outside leg stump that went through the offside. He's got just the great hands and the skill to be able to manoeuvre the ball into the gaps. England's power play I have no concerns about. When there's only 2 fielders out, they're a dynamic team that can strike it. The problem comes around that 8th over mark till around the 14th, where they just continuously keep going. I just don't think the game's changed so much that you have to go so ultra aggressive in that period. You get the flying start, then you kind of come back just slightly, and then it gives you that opportunity in the last 6 overs with wickets in hand to explode into life once again. That's the way you get to 210, 220. Very rarely does the team get to 220 by being, ultra aggressive for 20 single overs. They still go up and down in the gears to get that total. And Duckett's the perfect kind of play. If he can be there around the 13th, 14th mark, and he's on 60 or 70 by just being skillful and manoeuvring the ball, he can be that kind of rock at the top of the order for everyone else to bat around, because he plays spin well. He has got the gift to be able to just knock the ball into the spaces. He's got the boundary options with the flicks and the tricks. So he's the perfect player to be that rock for the team. Look at Jamie Smith. Jamie Smith went out there, he hits a 6. Very similar to in the previous game where he got a 6 and he got out the next ball. He's done it in his second game, the same as he did in his first game. So you're kind of looking at a team that's probably under direction from the management. This is the way we're going to play our cricket. Brendan Cullen plays this in Test match cricket, so you can only imagine what he's saying in the dressing room in T20 cricket. It's all about being aggressive. It's all about trying to hit the big blows. But I just think T20 cricket, particularly against real skillful bowlers, it's moved on, because of the skill and the elements of the field settings, and the captaincy was excellent again from Suryakumar Yadav. He knew how exactly to play the parts to this England batting lineup. And, we don't know, but we think they're about 30 runs light because of their approach tonight.
Yeah, there's, as Zach said, it looks like for them, the first option is 6, and from the outside, it looks like its second option is out. Like that's it. It's 6. It's 6 or out, because England was 8 down with 4 overs to spare. So that brings into light even more what Michael Vaughan is saying, that you need one of the batters to stick around. Yes, Liam Livingstone was there with 4 overs to spare, but you knew that, it was not. I think that's why I said that looked like it would wrap up for 150 when they were 127 for 8. So at least they'll be happy they got to 170 against this Indian batting lineup in Rajkot. That might not be enough. Though we did talk about it in the comm box, the ball was staying a little low, or was England just not estimating the bounce correctly? Because I saw a lot of balls hit the bottom of the bat, Zach.
Look, 170 is a good total in this format. Any given day, your bowlers can bail you out for sure. You can look at the pitch and say that at times the ball was hitting the bottom of the bat. It was skittish kind of nature, bit on the lower side. The shot making can be difficult, but you got to create that scenario. You've seen Hardik bowling those off-pace deliveries right from the word go, and which really worked in his favour. So last game also, you've seen even with this bowling attack, England created that scenario from where they could have won the game, and the only way of creating that is by taking wickets. So if you get the early inroads, then you can create that situation. But it has to. It is going to take a lot from this English bowling lineup to create that kind of pressure.
Can the England bowling stop this Indian batting getting 172, Michael?
Well, I think it'd be difficult. I mean, they'll have to probably have an Indian batter that just is a little bit complacent and probably think they're going to get these quite quickly and make some errors early. I don't see the ball swinging around too much. I don't think there's going to be too much in terms of spin. So if India focus and concentrate, you would think they'll have enough to get over the line tonight.
Yeah, and talking about the Indian bowling, we used to talk about a time where there was a spin quartet. Today there was a spin quintet. How many times will you hear that in a T20 international? A spin quintet, 5 spinners used. One of them was just used for 1 over, but he bowled that over for 4 runs, so it wasn't bad. But there was Abhishek Sharma who bowled an over. Akshar Patel got a wicket. Sorry, Ravi Bishnoi was expensive but got a wicket. But the story today was Varun Chakaravarthy, as has been for a while. This Varun Chakaravarthy 2.0, who's come back into the T20 setup. Michael, just a few quick words on him, because, I mean, we've spoken about him a lot in the first 2 games, but today, a 5-4 is, that's a very special day.
Yeah, and he just keeps delivering that kind of angle in. There's a little bit of drift, and then it goes even further through the gate of the right-handers. He's having a series where you just know that he's got all the England batters probably running back to the computer screens to try and have a look at the action to see if they've got any kind of cue that they can pick up for when they go back out into the middle. But T20 cricket, it all happens so quickly. And he's bowling that beautiful length. It's just that in-between length where they're not quite sure, do they step out or do they go back? You can see from his body language, he's got the ball on a string and he's bowling to a group of batters that are scratching their head. I don't think they've got too many answers to his little tricks that he's bowling. And generally, it's that in-swinger that keeps going. And England just keep opening the gate around about that big. The gate's about that big and it keeps going through it. They've got to try and close the gate with the bat if they possibly can.
Yeah, and they can't read it, right? In every game, Zach, he's getting 1 or 2 where he's driving the bus through that gate.
It's a perfect combination, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bowler in good rhythm, hitting good areas consistently, and batters not having a clue. They're not reading him, as simple as that.
Yeah.
And he's just been accurate, attacking the stumps. So opportunities are creating itself, just having a terrific rhythm going right now. And great wicket-taking form. You've seen that in South Africa as well. He's just been very consistent with hitting that length, creating that pressure on batters. In this format, you got to go for those big shots. And if you're not picking, there's always a risk of losing wicket. And Varun Chakaravarthy has been consistently taking advantage of that.
Well, England will have to get a few early wickets here if they want to stand any chance in Rajkot. Otherwise, if India get to 172, they put on the coat of victory. And if England can stop them, it'll be British Rajkot. Terrible. Terrible. I shouldn't eat just before the show. It clouds my judgment. I'm a bit of a food coma. Let's see if it clouds my judgment with the score guess. Power play. How many will India get? Who wants to go?
53.
53. Okay. What about
57.
you, 57. All right, I know that India's got only 3 in the first over, right? Do you want to change your guess, Zach?
No.
No? You're fine with it? 53.
That's the adaptation I've been talking about. You got to adapt to the condition. You got to
Yeah?
trust the conditions.
Okay, great. I'm going to go with 61. Why not? Let's have some fun. It's not like anyone's getting any prize here, so why not? Michael came very close. There's only a 5-run swing on your guess. Came pretty close. If he had put that free hit away, Adil Rashid, Michael, that would have been yours. Didn't happen though. But anyway, maybe it happens in this one. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox. Thank you so much for watching Cricbuzz Live.